What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Gene the Man 94, here to give you guys my WWE Smackdown Live review, episode 900 of Smackdown. I've watched Smackdown since, I was a little young lad back in the day, and I remember watching the first episode where Triple H and The Rock went at it, and Shawn Michaels super kicked The Rock, and Triple H retained the title. I remember all of that. I remember all the good stuff growing up, all the SmackDown moments, and everything else. I had been a fan of SmackDown, and then they started treating SmackDown like it was nothing. So now that I'm glad that they've done this whole draft thing, this brand extension, and they've separated people to make it feel important again. Because now I feel like SmackDown's better than Raw. I even made a video on it yesterday. It'll be down in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. I was really proud of that video, so hope you guys check it out if you guys have some time on your hands. Really good video. But this was a really good episode of SmackDown. They started off with a nice little video package to kick it off, about the history of SmackDown and all that. They ran little video packages all throughout the night to show like some of the top moments that have happened on SmackDown. They were also hyping up what was going to happen because there was going to be a cutting edge segment, and the Undertaker was also returning to SmackDown. So let's get right into it, though. So we had Shane and Daniel Bryan come out and pretty much announced that Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz was going to be the first match. So we had Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Man, I love this match. These two, I don't know what it is. These two are just great together. Like, they've just been putting on good match after good match after good match. And this one did not disappoint as well. The Hart Dolph show in this match was incredible because, once again, he was fighting through all the odds. And he wanted to close the chapter on The Miz and, go into Survivor Series as the Intercontinental Champion to defend it against Sami Zayn and rep his brand. So it was a very solid back and forth match. Good action between these guys. The pacing was fine in the match. Storytelling was great. The Miz, making a mockery of Daniel Bryan, using his moveset to try to put Ziggler away. He did the kicks to the chest, and he even did the running knee, which led to like a skull-crushing finale, and he still couldn't get the pinfall there. He had him in the figure four. Dolph Ziggler was getting in some good offense as well. He had the sleeper hold, the zigzag, the famouser. He was doing all sorts of stuff to put the Miz away. But I thought he was going to tap out to that figure four, to be honest with you, because that just looked nasty. The Spear Squad came out, distracted him. Maurice assisted The Miz in a roll-up pin after Dolph, disposed of those guys. They rolled up because Miz tried to put him in a figure four again, and Dolph had him, at the roll-up, and Maurice pushed him, and they flipped over to the point where Miz got the advantage and was able to pin Dolph Ziggler. And your new Intercontinental Champion. The Miz is now a 6-time Intercontinental Champion, and he will be facing Sami Zayn at Survivor Series. I think the reason why they pulled the plug on this and took the title off of Ziggler, probably not anything to do with Ziggler per se, but all more to do with the fact that I think Sami Zayn's taking the title over the Raw. And the reason I think he's taking the title over the Raw is because I think the Cruiserweights are coming over to SmackDown. So, I feel like they're going to take one away and give one back. So, I feel like that's how that's going to work. But this match, it was a great match. Crowd was invested in it. I was invested in it. Very interesting. But yeah, The Miz was able to pick up the victory in dirty fashion once again. So, I believe their rivalry isn't going to end, especially if The Miz, chokes away the title to Raw. So we'll see what happens. And plus, I don't think they wanted to put that heat on Dolph Ziggler because, I believe they're going to put the title on Sami Zayn. So the only other thing I can see happening is if they bring Sami over to SmackDown, see if they can persuade him or something. But other than that, we'll see where it goes from here. But I think that's the direction they're going. He had a segment with Daniel Bryan and Alexa Bliss and Natalya. She's still quoting songs and stuff. I think Alexa Bliss was complaining about the match last week. I kind of didn't even care. Then we had Kalisto versus Oney Lorkin. I think his name is Biff Busick or something, known on the indie scene or whatever. It was just a quick match for Kalisto to get ready to try to bring the Cruiserweight division over to SmackDown. He won the match easily. Salida del Sol. I think he botched too, but I had walked away at that point because I didn't really care about this match because I knew he was going to win. But after that, we had Heath Slater talking to, the Team SmackDown tag teams in the backstage area, getting them ready for Survivor Series against Raw, stressing the importance of winning. And then he brought in King Booker. Not just Booker T, but Booker T reverted back to his King Booker gimmick and was speaking life into this tag team division. Even the Usos were paying attention to him. And they're heels. When King Booker speaks, you listen. He was just addressing them. And then you had Breezango try to come up. They're doing their whole fashion police gimmick. They try to give him a ticket. And he pretty much dogged them out. Was just like, you guys want to be on the winning team, then you got to dress like some champions. And then he gave them the SmackDown shirts and was just like, go get yourself changed. And the whole thing backfired on them. And then, they were just like, all hail King Booker. I'm glad they did not bring back Queen Carmella. I'm sorry, but her voice was just too annoying. All hail King Booker. No, I couldn't deal with that. I could not. But it was just fine what they did. That was just perfect. It was funny to see that again. One of his best gimmicks in the WWE, believe it or not. But yeah, Booker T is always great seeing him. We had Nikki Bella versus Carmella, which didn't seem like a real match. This was a fight. Like, these two do not like each other. Let me stress that again. They do not like each other. They've been going at it since the draft happened, going back and forth. Carmella's been on the upper hand for most of the time, attacking Nikki Bella. And they finally got to have an actual match, but like I said, it felt like a fight. I praise Carmella for her heel work. This heel turn was the best thing to happen to her, because I don't think she was going anywhere as a face. I think she needed this heel turn to be more aggressive and, bring out her character more. I think this will help her eventually get over as a face in the future. So this was a good heel turn. She was working over Nikki Bella's neck for most of the match. The injured neck that almost costed her career. The one she fought back and, came back to the WWE. And she was just working it over the whole match. Like, it was brutal. It seemed like she was really hurting her neck. Like, she held no punches. It was a good match. Good match from both of them. And, as the match was drawing towards its conclusion, we had Charlotte, the WWE Raw Women's Champion, come from the crowd with her ticket and sat down front row to watch the match. So, Nikki and Carmella's fighting outside of the ring. Carmella gets thrown into the barricade by Nikki Bella. And right in front of Charlotte's like, oh, that's all you got. That's all you got. Come on, Nikki. Like, pretty much mocking Brie. And as Nikki goes to walk away, she turns around and sucker punches her right in the mouth. And then she pulls her over the barricade. They start fighting. Then, of course, the Raw women's team came out to start jumping on her. Sasha Bailey, Nia Jax, who was just... Whew, that woman is a devastating factor for that team. Just like Braun Strowman is for the men's team. Then you had the women's SmackDown team come out. And they pretty much helped out Nikki Bella, their captain. Which I still don't know why Becky Lynch isn't the captain if she's the... Never mind. But, SmackDown was able to actually get the advantage. Nia Jax ran into a barricade, but nobody was there. She almost crushed Becky Lynch. And yeah, they were pretty much able to get the upper advantage over Team Raw. Same way Team Raw got the upper advantage over the men's team last night on Raw. But it was a good segment. I like what they did here. They had the little invasion just like they invaded them last night. And it was pretty cool. It worked out. And it's pretty much just trying to draw the team closer together a little bit. Because not everybody is on the same page per se. But it was crazy. Like, you had Naomi jumping off the top rope. And she, like, the literal ropes. Like, the middle parts of the rope. She jumped off of that onto them, and they were just going crazy. They weren't holding back. Y'all not about to come on our show and get the upper advantage on us. So I like that segment. I'm excited to see that match as well. Then we get the Teddy Long match of the night. It couldn't be SmackDown 900 without a Teddy Long match. We had a 16-man tag team match. You had, bear with me, you had the Headbangers, the Ascension, the Spirit Squad, and the Vaudevillains versus the Usos, American Alpha, Hype Bros, and Breezango, with Heath Slater and Rhino in their corner, of course, because they're Team SmackDown. Man, it was hard to keep up with this match. I ain't gonna lie. This match was just all over the place. It wasn't bad, but it just seemed like there was too many people in the match, and it kind of affected it a little bit. But it seemed like Team SmackDown is gelled as a cohesive unit. Even with all the problems they've had with the Usos and all that stuff. It seemed like they put all of that to the side to be able to work as a team to get the upper advantage on Raw at Survivor Series. This Survivor Series is going to be crazy. This is going to be crazy. It's hectic. You got Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, which I still don't really care about, but it's still an important match, I guess. You got all these brand matches, these Raw versus SmackDown matches. Then you got, like Dolph Ziggler versus, not Dolph, he lost. Miz versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. And then you got Kalisto versus the Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight Division and Championship. So, like, it's a lot riding on this pay-per-view. This is bragging rights right here. Remember they tried to create that separate pay-per-view bragging rights? This is what it is. Because whoever comes out on top or wins the most matches is going to be bragging towards the other brand. So I can't wait. This should be one of the best pay-per-views of the year. And I like how they've made Survivor Series feel important again. Because it hasn't felt important in a long time. And this Survivor Series feels really, really important. I'm really excited. And I can't wait to see it. But the Team SmackDown, they won, of course. I would hope so. I don't think they would lose. If they lose, it wouldn't make any sense. But they won. And after that, we get the final segment of the night, which was the Cutting Edge. Edge returned, of course, for SmackDown 900 to address Team SmackDown, the men's team. He brought all of them out. They all came out and whatever. He shakes James Ellsworth's hand because he said, SmackDown has always been the land of opportunity. And this young man is pretty much taking advantage of the opportunities he's been given. AJ thought he was going to shake his hand, but he wound up going up to Ellsworth instead. And you know how AJ feels about him. Ellsworth was about to do a 5-second pose with Edge, but AJ killed the gimmick, shut it all down. Says no one cares about Ellsworth or him, so he just needs to move out the way and let AJ be the leader that he's supposed to be. And then Edge was just like, oh no, he was like, you need to talk to somebody on his team who actually matters. And Edge was like, okay, let me talk to Randy Orton, my former teammate in Team Rated RKO. How the heck are you? Are you even there? Why are you not talking? Because Randy just had this glossed look on his face. He was looking past Edge. He wouldn't look him in the eye. It's just like Randy Orton's gone. Ain't no more Randy Orton. Randy Orton didn't say nothing. He didn't say anything at all. And Edge was like, oh, do you gotta, have Bray Wyatt pull the string in your back for you to talk to me or something? And then Bray took the mic and was just like, the Randy is dead. And this Sunday, you'll see a more vicious Viper than you have ever seen before. So I don't know what Bray Wyatt has done to Randy Orton, but he's really with the Wyatt family, and I'm thinking he's either possessed or I don't know, something's going on with Randy. But he's, I guess, supposed to be more vicious. You had all of that. They was arguing, and then he says Shane has his work cut out for him. Shane gets the mic and was like, hey, we all need to be on the same page. We all know not all of us, get along per se, but we all got to come together for the better of the team and to beat Raw. We are the superior brand. We are the money show. And I think he called it Shane O Smackdown I don't know. He said something like that. AJ said that was stupid or something. And they just, you started arguing with Dean, and, they pretty much was like, yeah, we're going to finish this rivalry after this match is over, and all that other stuff. Everybody was arguing, and then the gong hits, and the Undertaker's music starts playing. Everybody shut up. They shifted to one side of the ring and watched as the Undertaker slowly but surely walked down that ramp, got into the ring. Everybody was just looking like, oh, snap. So, yeah, the Undertaker got in. He goes, looks them all down as he walks past them. James Ellsworth, I don't even know if he was still in the ring. He was looking, he looked crazy. I think he got up out the ring, to be honest. He goes and looks at Shane. They have their little stare down. And then he gets the mic, starts talking. He was just like, he couldn't think of anybody better to be the commissioner of SmackDown Live than the man with no fear. And then he tipped his cap to Shane McMahon because, they had that iconic Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania where Shane jumped off onto nothing, just the announce table, and almost killed himself. He's gonna be looking like Mick Foley in a few years with no hip socket. But yeah, so he paid respects to Shane, and then he was just like, he's back for two reasons. He says WrestleMania will no longer define who he is. He said, and this is his words, he's back. He's taking souls and digging holes. And Survivor Series is where he was born, and SmackDown has always been his home. And I'm just like, oh my God, did he just announce that he's back? Like, is he back? Like, WrestleMania will no longer be the only time we see The Undertaker? Really? If so, then hallelujah. Because I was starting to get stale on The Undertaker. But if he's back now, if he's healthy enough to compete and be involved in storylines again and not just show up around WrestleMania time, then that's great. And it's great for SmackDown Live because they needed more star power. Not saying they don't have any star power, but they needed somebody like The Undertaker, a veteran in the locker room with leadership capabilities. And speaking of those leadership capabilities, that brings him to his second reason he's back. Because of Survivor Series. He said there's no reason to fear failure, but if you fail, you will have reason to fear the dead man. And Team Raw better let me get this together. Rest in peace. That was a horrible attempt at The Undertaker. I will get that straightened out immediately. So sorry about that. But he pretty much just struck fear into Team SmackDown, not to be afraid of failing, but to be afraid of what happens if they do fail and they got to come back and see The Undertaker, which just further makes me believe that he's really back. And they needed that pep talk. That pep talk is definitely one that they needed because they haven't been on the same page as a few of the teams haven't, but they really needed a veteran, a legend like The Undertaker to come out there and speak these words to them. Even Bray Wyatt was listening, and Bray Wyatt don't listen to nobody. But he was actually listening because he know how The Undertaker is. He had his little rivalry with him. They faced off at WrestleMania a few years ago. He already know not to mess with The Undertaker. So, man, they needed that. Everybody was just dead silent, eyes on him. Like, whoo, it was great. They needed it. They needed that motivation to go into Survivor Series and take out Raw. They needed it. It was what they needed. It was great. It was a great way to end SmackDown 900, and I enjoyed it. They didn't have to do too much. They rolled the little video packages. They brought back a few people. It was great. I don't even think they appreciated the fact that the Headbangers were there because they had been on some episodes of SmackDown as well. But they failed to mention that, but it's okay. They're not really that important. But yeah, great episode of SmackDown. I enjoyed it. Feel like they could have kept that tag team match in Teddy Long's back pocket somewhere. I felt like it was too much, but it was all right. I ain't gonna complain about it too much. They did what they felt they needed to do to get ready for Survivor Series to get their teams on the same page. So with that being said, let me know what you guys felt about SmackDown. Did you feel like they did too much? Let me know your thoughts on The Undertaker saying that he's back. I need to hear that. Let me know what you guys thought of that because I need to know. Is he back for real or is he just ribbing or whatever? Did he mess up? Did he botch or something? Please let me know if he's back for sure. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And I'll talk to you guys later on. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.